O'Reilly Auto Parts can help you find the exact Superstart battery that fits your car or truck at a guaranteed low price. Replaced O'Reilly Auto Parts can help you find the exact Superstart battery that fits your car or truck at a guaranteed low price. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
No pep in your car's performance? No need to fish for an explanation. It may be your fuel filter. Like aquarium filters, fuel filters trap debris. Their job is to snag gasoline contaminants before they reach your engine. But if filters clog, flows are restricted. And then, like fish who can't get enough oxygenated water, your engine can't get enough precious gas. Result? Poor performance and decreased gas mileage. So don't let the big ones, dollars that is, get away. Change fuel filters with every tune-up. I'm Bobby Likis. Like us, you'll love us.
Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Countdown to 3-minute mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Countdown to 1-minute mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Countdown to 30-second mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Countdown to 10-second mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. If you have a car question for Bobby, call now at 1-800-264-5454, toll free from anywhere in America. And now, here's your host, Bobby Likis.
And a special welcome to this edition of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Sit back, ride along with me this hour, and we're going to talk cars. In fact, I see that Joe is already calling in from Pennsylvania, and it's easy for you to do. Miss Hannah is standing by. She will take your call at 888 Car Clinic. That's make it easier for you. 888-227-2546. She'll put you in the queue, and I will put you on the air. Bobby Likis Car Clinic is brought to you this morning by O'Reilly Auto Parts, our partners. Sign up to be an O Rewards member today. Do it today and earn a point for every dollar spent. In fact, receive your rewards twice as fast and on the go when you provide your email address. O Reward members get $5 back for every $150 spent, and it's fast, it's easy, and of course, it's free. It's free dollars only at O'Reilly Auto Parts. See the store or orewards.com for details. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Every Saturday. Better parts, better prices, every day. Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Every Saturday, 10 till noon Eastern Time, right here from the center of the automotive universe. So, coming up, we'll go to Joe in Pennsylvania, and then we will take your calls at 888-227-2546. Meanwhile, the most commonly searched car questions on Google? When I come back, don't touch that dial. I'm Bobby Likis. Likis, you'll love it.
Let's go inside the mind of a 10-year-old.
I should have worn earrings today.
Buckle up, Sarah.
Michaela's got like the best earrings.
Sarah, buckle up.
I wish my name was Michaela.
We're not hitting the road until you buckle up, honey.
Oh yeah, seatbelt. I wonder if there's pizza at school today.
It can be tough getting through to kids, but it's your job to make sure they're wearing their seatbelts. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
Berryman's B12 Chem Tool features HEST, or High Energy Solvent Technology. Using a combination of stronger solvents, HEST technology helps maximize one-tank cleanup of intake valves, fuel injectors, and combustion chambers. For example, Frederick L. was experiencing a stalling problem on his 88 Mazda B2200. The vehicle was bogging down under acceleration. He tried Berryman B12 Chem Tool on a whim and noticed a huge difference, both with performance and fuel economy. Learn more about Berryman B12 Chem Tool at berrymanproducts.com. In the service bay this week, more about Berryman B12 Chem Tool at berrymanproducts.com. In the service bay this week, a 2000 Ford Taurus. The customer had brought the vehicle in because it rode rough and handled poorly. Not uncommon for older cars with 85,000 miles. It was also making a lot of noise over slight bumps. After checking the vehicle out thoroughly, our diagnosis was that both front struts had gone bad. They were bouncy, and the bushings were worn and loose. The solution? A set of Motorcraft loaded struts to help restore original ride and feel. And because Motorcraft offers a preloaded strut assembly, the customer saves money on labor, and the shop can move on quickly to the next vehicle. Not to mention not fighting with rust and typical disassembly issues associated with all older type vehicles. After installing the new Motorcraft assemblies, the ride and handling was restored to the condition that the owner remembered. Motorcraft parts are specifically designed for all your Ford and Lincoln repairs. Motorcraft, right part, priced right. Learn more about Motorcraft loaded struts and other high-quality vehicle-specific parts at motorcraft.com.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Rosie Outfitters, I'm Tina. How can I help you?
I'd like to place an order.
Great. Which item?
The cotton roll neck sweater, large.
Okay. Periwinkle, loaded, or caramel?
The caramel, please.
The what?
I'd like it in caramel.
Oh, the caramel?
Yeah, that's what I said, Tina.
Actually, you said caramel when it's pronounced caramel.
Can't we just call it yellow?
No.
Everyone knows the best part of a Milky Way. They just don't know how to say
We
it.
just call it yellow?
No.
Everyone knows the best part of a Milky Way. They just don't know how to say it. After all, it's our caramel.
It's caramel.
Ugh, that makes a Milky Way great.
You start my morning, you stir in my soul, you warm my heart, make me feel whole. Your aroma calls me, it starts my morning. Happy morning, your name is Folgers Mountain Grow. Now you're here, aroma helps me wake, and the day is mine to take. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
Okay, let's get this show started. We're going to produce 2 hours of car talk, and I'll answer your car questions. And I have, I don't know, Jonathan asked me today, how are you going to get to all this information? So you should see this desk here. For the most part, I rarely, if ever, read anything or share any information with you that I don't already have in my head, in my brain. But today I have a ton of information, and that means that we're going to have a ton of calls. That's just usually the way that it is. So the best thing to do is to get started early. Before we do, go to Joe, and Joe, I'm coming to you right away. 888 Car Clinic, folks, is the number to call. Before we do, go to Joe, and Joe, I'm coming to you right away. 888 Car Clinic, folks, is the number to call. 888-227-2546. The most commonly searched car questions on Google. I find this very interesting, and I just ran across it last evening. And the name of the website is click4reg.co.uk. I don't expect you to remember that, but it's obviously from the UK, and I don't know how it came to me, except that It's very interesting. The most commonly searched car questions on Google. And I'm going to give you the first one. Not necessarily, well, I won't give you the first one. I'm going to give you the next to the last one. And there are, I don't know, there are 15. I have 15. I'm not going to go through all those. You'll be glad of that. But the next to the last one is how to fix a dent in a car. And the last one is how to get a car loan. And that's just a teaser of the items. And I'd like for your input. I'd like for you to play along and to call in. And maybe we'll find something in the closet, some bling, and we'll send you some prize from the center of the automotive universe. And to that end, we're going to get started here. Again, the number is 888-227-2546. And we have special guests in the house, Renee and Josiah. So I want to 546. And we have special guests in the house, Renee and Josiah. So I want to say a special welcome to Renee and Josiah. They're guests. They're in the green room, or the white room as we call it. We call it the white room originally. And you'll appreciate this. Originally, that room that you're sitting in, Renee, was my engine building room. So across the top of the ceiling, there are 3 8-foot fixtures. I've got the tubes out of half of them because it's so bright in there. And we had pegboard, and that's where I built my racing engines. Nothing to do with the business. It was all for my personal use. And we used to run rear engine dragsters, and that was just a place that was isolated, and no one was allowed to go in, because that was a white room. It was light and bright, and it was an OR, clean, and that's where you assemble racing engines. You can never get too clean. In fact, folks, when you finally go through the cleaning and machining and all the blueprinting, it's called, to build a racing engine, then you make sure that every piece and every part is laid out, and there used to be desks around the wall there and pegboard. And then you don't start building the engine at the end of that day because your clothes are dirty and you can't have any clothes. So you come in the next morning, clean. You don't go to any shop. So you walk into that white room, and you only go out to take bio breaks or to get a cup of coffee or something, and then you put together that engine. And you only go out to take bio breaks or to get a cup of coffee or something, and then you put together that engine, because there can be not a speck, not a smidgen of dirt on that engine. It's amazing. I'm amazed at how many engines are produced every day, and no longer are there any, for the most part, challenges with engines. Okay, let's go to Joe, and then we can talk about race cars and drag cars and commonly searched car questions on Google. But first, Joe, thank you for holding. You were early in, and so you're first up. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Hi, how you doing? I appreciate your broadcast and your help.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your call, and you tune in. Where do you live in Pennsylvania?
I go around the Great Bend area off northern Pennsylvania, northeast Pennsylvania.
Well, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Just before we get started, what's the weather like in Pennsylvania today?
Well, it's about, it's about 65, 64, 65 degrees. The sun's out right now.
Well, we've had a ton of rain here on the Gulf Coast, but that's nothing new. The neat thing about Florida is that if you wait 20 minutes, and I say this, jokingly, tongue-in-cheek, but I'll tell you it's true. You wait 20 minutes, and if it's raining, the weather's going to change. And if it's too hot, just wait, and it gets hotter and hotter and muggier, and then the bottom falls out, and it rains, and it cools, and it starts all over again. It gets hotter and hotter and muggier, and then the bottom falls out, and it rains, and it cools, and it starts all over again. And you know that the hurricane is threatening southern Florida, and luckily just got a touch of the news before I left home this morning to come to the studio. That hurricane is turning, as I understand, and maybe we can get an update along the way, Jonathan, because it appears to be turning and going up the East Coast rather than coming straight into the mainland there on the peninsula there.
I heard that this morning. It might miss you, huh?
Well, it's going to miss us because we're on the Gulf Coast. See, this is God's country. We're nestled. We're close to Alabama state line, and Florida. The shape of Florida is unique. And, well, I guess the shape of every state's unique, but we're in the northwestern corner. Quite candidly, Pensacola, Florida is the last frontier of Florida. because we until about 5 years ago, we really weren't found. I mean, if it weren't for the fact Naval Air Station, which we are just fortunate, that's the second largest naval aviation museum in the world. If it weren't for the Naval Air Station, I don't think Pensacola would ever have grown to the point that it has today. And then we have some really great leaders in our downtown community and in our community at large, and they've decided that we need to put our money back in our community, and so downtown is really they've decided that we need to put our money back in our community, and so downtown is really buzzing. And 5 years, 10 years ago, 8 o'clock at night, weekends, not a lot, but now you see people walking everywhere, and it's really a pleasant community. But enough about that. Let's talk about your 84 Mercedes. What series is it, and what can I do to help you?
Okay, it's a 300D, of course, a diesel.
Right.
300D, and it's, I just bought it last week, and it was from California. It's, body's perfect, there's no rust. But and it runs good, but the transmission, it seems it's shifting kind of rough, I think. When it shifts, it's kind of a little bit of a plunk. I just want to know, is that normal or what?
No, and it's tunable. When I say tunable, today, if you buy a new car, the computer controls there's a transmission module that controls the computer separately.
Yes.
There's a body control module that controls the interior lights separately. There's an engine control module that controls the engine functions separately. Now,
that's why I got an 84. I don't want no computer.
Yeah, I hear you. Now, however, having said that, their average car today has 25 black boxes, 25 modules, and although I said they handle these individually, has 25 black boxes, 25 modules, and although I said they handle these individual functions separately, they actually are all tied together and they work in unison. But let's go back to your car. Your car has a very durable 4-speed automatic transmission that is infinitely adjustable, and here's how. Of course, let me ask you a quick question. When you turn the diesel engine off, does it shut down immediately? And in addition, do the doors, the open automatic door locks, work correctly?
Yeah, they all work. It's a vacuum deal. As a matter of fact, I disconnect my battery because just for safety reasons and to keep from draining, especially in the winter. I can disconnect the battery, and I can still lock and unlock the doors. The vacuum. There's enough vacuum, I guess, in the system still. So it works. They work by vacuum. Yes, Bobby, they're all working.
Good. The reason I ask that is because there's a vacuum pump, because the diesel does not create any vacuum. There's no throttle and no intake plenum vacuum. So that vacuum that operates the doors it is from a pump. And looking at the car from the front side, you look on the driver's side of the engine, you'll see a round, like a little miniature helmet, and that's a vacuum pump that's bolted on the engine. The reason I ask that question, Joe, is because that vacuum pump that's bolted on the engine. The reason I ask that question, Joe, is because that vacuum supplies off of a roller cam off the engine, supplies vacuum for the doors to operate. And ironically, when you turn the ignition switch off, the ignition switches for the radio and other functions of the car, the ignition switch has a vacuum switch behind it, and it is vacuum that shuts the fuel down, because that's the way you shut. And in fact, if you had an opportunity to look under the hood, you'll see the throttle linkage, and you'll see a little red button that says push to stop. And that is a mechanical fuel shutdown, that if the vacuum system doesn't work, if you were to disconnect the vacuum from that pump that I'm talking about, and you turn the key off, the engine would continue to run. Because believe it or not, the vacuum is a diaphragm and we call it a motor, but it's a vacuum diaphragm, just like when you take a breath, your diaphragm goes down, the air goes in. Well, that's the same way vacuum works. And so there's a vacuum pot or motor that shuts the engine down. And then with regard to the transmission, which I'm going to finally get to your question, but I'll have to come back after the break, because as usual, I just got all caught up in your 84. Don't touch the dial. I'll be back. Entertainment systems, backup cameras, start-stop technology, just a few of the electrical demands we put on today's vehicles. AGM or backup camera, start-stop technology, just a few of the electrical demands we put on today's vehicles. AGM or absorbent glass mat batteries are up to the challenge. Precision engineered for the ultimate combination of power, durability, and reliability. One advantage, how acid is handled. Where it's free-flowing in a traditional flooded battery, acid is completely absorbed into the glass mat separators of an AGM battery. So in the event of a crash, AGM batteries won't leak. For more AGM advantages from Clarius, go to autobatteries.com. Talking tunes, not the ones on the radio, the ones that allow you to reprogram your vehicle's factory computer, giving you more power, more torque, and a better overall driving experience. Diablo Sport tuners and Reaper Stage 1 kits provide an air-fuel mixture that's already engineered for the particular setup you're running to electronically compensate for the intake and the exhaust on your vehicle. Whether it's the Predator, the Intune i3, or the Trinity 2, you can find the perfect tune at DiabloSport.com. That's DiabloSport.com. This car repair spotlight brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Folks, this week an '04 Chevy Avalanche with 196,000 miles came in the shop with a noisy front wheel and ABS light on. Our service team determined the truck had a bad front wheel bearing. Not sure about the ABS issue. We called our local O'Reilly Auto Parts professional who recommended a Precision brand hub assembly. The Precision hub came with new bearings, new seals, new wheel studs, and an ABS sensor built in. Perhaps the new hub, with its built-in ABS sensor, might also fix the ABS. We called the owner to explain the new hub, with its built-in ABS sensor, might also fix the ABS. We called the owner to explain the process and give a cost estimate. Replace the hub, clear all codes, and retest the vehicle. What a relief after repair, as both the noise and ABS issue were repaired. Given the cost of repair, whenever we can fix two problems with one part, makes our customers really happy and our team heroes. That's why we make O'Reilly Auto Parts our first call. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
The airlines like to have sales. Summer getaway sales, holiday sales, winter sales. Truth is, at any moment, some airline somewhere is on sale with low fares to great destinations. Travelocity knows exactly what's going on, who's on sale, to where, and when, at over 700 airlines worldwide. We even have this nifty feature that lets you look at a calendar so that you can see exactly the days the great fares are available. Travelocity.com. Go virtually anywhere. AOL keyword, travel.
Hun, guess my temperature.
It's 2 a.m. Go to sleep.
Come on, one guess.
I'm 98.
Higher.
Higher at 99.
You're getting warmer. Wait, I'm getting warmer.
Cold symptoms keeping you from getting a good night's sleep? Get NyQuil, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever so you can sleep better to feel better medicine. Use as directed.
One more guess.
100.
Stuffy head, fever so you can sleep better to feel better medicine. Use as directed.
One more guess.
100.
Yes. Tell her what she's won, Bob.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back to this segment of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. We're talking with Joe in Pennsylvania with an '84 Mercedes 300D, the diesel, with a transmission problem. So, Joe, number one, and this is going to be on you to do. I'm not sure how best that you can find. Well, I am too. Here's an idea, and my challenge here is, you need to find a Mercedes technician in your hometown that's familiar with the nature of that vehicle, because the adjustments to tune the shift timing and the intensity of the shift are very easy to do on the diesel. But you have to know, and that's all mechanical, but you have to find a technician who has been there and done that, because if you were to talk to a younger technician for today, he or she would look at the linkages. I don't know. Where's the data port where I can hook the scan to? So here's the bottom line. There's a longitudinal throttle linkage where you step on the accelerator pedal inside and it operates the mechanical linkage outside. In conjunction with that, when the accelerator pedal inside and it operates the mechanical linkage outside. In conjunction with that, and there are lots of arms.
A longitudinal, a what?
There's a bunch of rods and bell cranks that are hooked to the gas pedal that operate the throttle and also operate the transmission input. Okay?
Yeah, I've seen all them linkages.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So number one, they wear, And Mercedes-Benz, and the neat thing about Mercedes-Benz and Porsche too, like my classic Porsche, is you can buy any given link, any little link ball joint, and these are like the size of a ballpoint pen, and they run like everywhere, longitudinally and horizontally and vertically, and they have cables that run down. So let's just say that you're house hunting, and I'll make this short and sweet. Let's say you're house hunting and you're looking for an address, you're going 6, 8, 10 miles an hour. Well, the transmission reads the speed of the car according to the throttle input. And also there's a governor inside the transmission. So the governor is always wanting to upshift, because as the road speed increases, the governor says, okay, now we've got to go to second gear. Well, the throttle says, wait, hold off, because we're not house hunting. We're not going 6 miles per hour. We're accelerating onto an on-ramp on an interstate. So don't shift from first to second at 6 miles per hour. Shift at 15, 20 miles per hour. So how does the transmission second at 6 miles per hour shift at 15, 20 miles per hour? So how does the
transmission? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
Can
sure.
I ask you a question right there?
Sure, yeah.
The worst part is the third or fourth shift. What is it? 4-speed, right?
It's 4-speed, yes.
All right, so I think it's when it's going into 4th. That's it takes a long time to go into 4th. I mean, I got to get it up, I don't know, past 40 miles an hour.
Exactly.
When it goes to 4th, that's when I think that's the one where it hits the biggest clunk.
Yes, exactly. But it's all relevant, because the adjustment that I'm speaking of, and that is the synchronization of the throttle opening to gas pedal pressure movement to speed to, and last but the most important, the cable that goes down to the transmission that tells the transmission all of this information mechanically. So if you'll find a local, let me give you you're familiar with the company Bosch, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't mean the tool. They make the tools, the same company, but Bosch also has a group of shops, of which we are an authorized Bosch service center. We were the first in 1986 in the state of Florida and the 8th in the nation. And now there's an elite group, and I say elite group because there are only 8th in the nation. And now there's an elite group, and I say elite group because there are only about 750 Bosch authorized service center shops in the United States. And you have to qualify. You have to go to school. You have to have a standalone facility. I won't go through all the nitty-gritty there, except to say that you need to find a Bosch shop, because the individuals that are Bosch shops are also well versed on Mercedes, because Bosch makes all those parts for Mercedes. And so here's what I want you to do. Google Bosch car service, and when you find that, put in, you'll see the Bosch car service, and you'll know how to find. Just look at the tabs on the website, and you'll find an authorized Bosch service center within X miles, hopefully, of your home there in Pennsylvania. And then call that.
What about a Mercedes dealer? There's one about 90 miles from the Mercedes dealer. Are they good enough?
Well, how far? 90 miles?
About 90 miles. Yeah.
Well, you may find a Bosch. You may find a Bosch service center that's closer. But either way, a Mercedes dealer.
Sorry, not 90 miles. 70. Let's see. About 75 miles, I think it is.
Okay. Well, that's of course your decision. But here's the point. You want the throttle linkage and transmission kickdown, or a pressure, and you want the throttle linkage adjusted in total, and pressure, and you want the throttle linkage adjusted in total, and that should cost about an hour worth of labor. And before you would ever do anything within or inside the transmission, you would always adjust the throttle linkage that has to be synchronized and aligned with the throttle opening. So that's what you want to do. And in the meantime, you may as well have them to drop the pan and change the fluid in the filter and what have you. In that vehicle, there is a filter. So I would do that as well at the same time.
I've done a bunch of different mechanical work over the years on my vehicles.
Okay.
Nothing too expensive, but can I do this thing?
No.
I mean,
No, you can't.
Why not?
because if you're calling me, you don't know how to do it. So talking about it's one thing. Hands-on adjustments another thing, because it's a very intricate system. Can you change the fluid? Yeah, sure you could. But that's not the point. Your transmission needs to be adjusted according to the engine speed and road speed, and only someone who understands how all that linkage works, because it is a German, it's over-engineered, and it can be real simple. But if you haven't done it before, you have your first one. You don't want someone to learn on your money. That's the whole point. You got it?
I understand, right.
Okay, my friend. Hey, thanks for calling, and congratulations on the car.
Before I go next, you mentioned a red button, a stop button. What was that?
Congratulations on the car.
Before I go next, you mentioned a red button, a stop button. What was that again? I got to write it down here.
On the linkage, on the engine, there's a crank, a bell crank, and there's a red label about the size of your thumb, and that is used to shut the engine down in case of loss of vacuum. You physically, manually shut the fuel down. Yeah,
in other words, the engine may not shut off.
Well, if there's vacuum, if you lose your vacuum, it won't shut off, and that's an emergency shutdown. You know.
Oh, I saw that thing.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, it's kind of neat. Hey, I got to go. I got other calls, but congratulations, and let me know how it works when you get to the other side. Okay. Thank you so much, Joe. We're going to take a call now from South Dakota, and your calls, folks, coming up 888-227-2546. Randall, thanks for holding. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Bobby, I've got a 2009 GT manual. I bought a brand new, 115,000 miles on it. And it started cutting out when I would try and accelerate past somebody. So I put new plugs in it, and it still does it, but it don't do it until it gets hot. I don't mean over hot. I just mean on a cool day, I can run it up to 100, and it runs good.
Right.
But if it gets like 90 or 95 day, and I do 100, and it runs good.
Right.
But if it gets like 90 or 95 day, and if I'm driving 65 or 70 and trying to accelerate,
right,
that's out. Other than that, it runs perfect.
Well, you know, and does it just lose power? Does it shut down, or it just won't go beyond? It just doesn't have the power to go where you want to, as fast as you want to go.
Yeah, it just shuts down. It won't go. Then as soon as I release the foot pedal to go back to 65 or 70, it drives perfect.
Well, it tells me that and this is just a guess, because there are a lot of what ifs, and it's an 09, so it does have a lot of computers on it. However, having said that, it appears to me that it could be a fuel flow problem. And the good news is that a shop can perform a fuel flow test and pressure test and operating test. And you have a pen to write this down?
Yeah, hold on here.
Sure.
I had it in the shop, and the Ford boys can't figure it out.
Well, it's because they don't drive the car. In order for the Ford boys to figure it out, they have to experience what you're experiencing. I bet you they have not. Is that right?
Yeah, they haven't. They told me if it starts doing it, bring it into the shop.
Well, sure. If the tire's flat, it's either got a hole in the tire, the wheel, or the valve stem. But if the car's running, see, they're not driving it like you are. And that costs money, because you'd have to say, hey, quit all your jobs it like you are. And that costs money, because you'd have to say, hey, quit all your jobs, take my car and go drive it down the highway, and it may or may not. Here's what you want. Here's what you need to do. This is the biggest bang for the buck. And when I say that, it's what I would do if you came to my shop and I wanted to eliminate one of the possibilities that is the most notable or the most applicable, and that would be a fuel pressure test.
Okay.
Now here's the particulars. The fuel pressure test has to be operating pressure, which means the technician will secure a gauge to the fuel rail and look at the operating pressure. And let's just say that the specification is 30 to 40 psi. Okay, so at idling it's going to be 30. And then when the car is accelerated, and they'll accelerate it by opening the throttle, then with acceleration, the pressure is going to increase to as much as 40. Now they can't load the engine because it'll be in the shop, so it won't be on a dyno. It won't be like it's on the highway. In fact, what we do sometimes is we'll take a fuel pressure gauge hooked to the car and use duct tape and put that gauge on the windshield and then go drive the car. And now we're actually watching real-time fuel pressure with a real gauge. So that is an easy watching real-time fuel pressure with a real gauge. So that is an easy way. I say easy way. It's an easy way to eliminate if it's a fuel flow problem. So having said that, you want a fuel pressure test, which is the number one, the operating pressure that I just spoke of. Number two, you want the deadhead pressure. And the technician, deadhead pressure of the fuel system.
Okay.
And just trust me, the deadhead pressure is there's a return line going to the fuel pump. From the fuel pump, fuel to the engine, and then whatever the engine doesn't use, the fuel goes back to the back. It just goes round robin all the time. They pump 30 gallons an hour, idling or running 70 miles an hour, 30 gallons an hour to the engine and back, and the engine just uses what it needs, and there's a regulator that lets it go back to the tank. If you stop that and by taking a grip and pinching off the return momentarily, that 40 pounds of pressure would go whoop, to 90 pounds. That's deadhead. So, and then finally, residual. You turn the vehicle off, it should sustain half of the operating pressure for 20 minutes. Have that performed, and then call me. And folks, don't touch the dial. I'll be back. A 2015 Ford Escape recently came into the shop, 120,000 miles and going strong, but it was a 2015 Ford Escape recently came into the shop, 120,000 miles and going strong, but it was starting to hesitate, and the customer also complained of declining fuel economy. This 2-liter turbocharged engine is GDI, or gas direct injection, and special maintenance is needed in certain areas, particularly the fuel system. We suspected carbon buildup, and sure enough, using a borescope through the spark plug hole, there was definite evidence of carbon buildup. GDI engines are different in the way they inject fuel, and it can create some issues with repair and maintenance. That's why it's important to use products rated for GDI, like Berryman's 4-step professional air and fuel management maintenance kit. Each step of the process is designed with GDI engines in mind. We use the kit, and after 2 weeks on the road, the car is performing noticeably better, and MPG has improved a bit. Learn more about Berryman's 4-step professional air and fuel management maintenance kits and other great products at berrymanproducts.com.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Waking up can be a chore, but mornings knocking on my front door. Know just what I'll do. Put on a pot of Folgers brew. Mountain road aroma hits the spot. Helps me give all that I got. An opportunity to start out smiling and happy. The best part of waking up is Folgers in you. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
I'm privileged to be involved with Capstone Adaptive Learning, formerly known as United Cerebral Palsy, for over 25 years. Since 1953, Capstone has provided quality care programs for persons with developmental disabilities like autism, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, and intellectual disabilities. Dr. Sherry White with her team are dedicated to Capstone's clients, and 100% of your contributions stay local to serve those in this community. Go to capstoneadaptivelearning.org to see the difference Capstone makes.
Technology moves at the speed of innovation, and today, that's lightning fast. So when you get your hands on the latest tech, don't forget to do the right thing with your old devices. Recycle them. The Consumer Technology Association and its members are making recycling your old tech device as easy as purchasing new ones. Just go to greenergadgets.org, type in your zip code, and you'll instantly find the responsible recycling location closest to your home. You'll also find lots of tips to simplify your recycling, like asking the store where you buy your